welcome back to Herrin Twins.
I'm Aaliyah.
I'm Kendra.
And today we're with Tia.
Woo!
I don't know if you've seen her on TikTok or Instagram, but we'll leave her links below.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Tia Bee Stokes. I'm a mother of 5, Major Legend Mays, Taz, and Rose. I'm married to the handsome Andrew Stokes, and 657 days ago I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. And I've just been on this journey. I'm a mom, I'm a busy mom. I own 2 dance studios, and I love to dance.
Awesome.
We were in her dance studio, right?
Yes, we are!
Pretty cool background.
Yes, we are.
So how long have you been dancing?
So I have been dancing for, oh my goodness, I was 10 years old. And I'm 36 now, so a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just been my passion ever since.
Awesome. Did you do dance in like high school? And
So I did. My sister actually owned a dance studio. So I grew up in a dance studio. I was teaching classes. I started dancing at 10 and I started teaching at 12.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I was 12 years old when I started teaching. And then, so I danced in the studio, and then I also danced in high school. I also was a cheerleader in high school. And then as a senior, I was actually on the dance company at Dixie State University, so out of college. Yeah, so it was, yeah, so I lived my dancing life in high school, and then actually as a senior in high school, I started auditioning. And I got my first dance job as a backup dancer for Beyonce Knowles.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so
And then, yeah, so like I danced in high school, but I wanted to dance professionally. So that's what I did mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
How long have you had the dance studio itself? Like,
The cool thing about this is that, so when I was 21 years old, I moved back to Utah from LA because I was dancing. And I started a dance group, and I named it Calamity. And I had no idea why I named it Calamity. It was kind of like a random name, you know, and I just thought it was cool, it sounded cool, and the word just kept coming to me. And then we actually were getting ready for our first concert in 2009. And at the time, it was not a benefit concert. It was just a dance concert for people just to come watch. We were like, let's just put on a show, you know. And one of my dancers was diagnosed with cancer for the second time. And so we thought, we came together as a team and we were like, let's make this a benefit concert for her. Let's donate 100% of the proceeds to her, you know, while she's battling, and we'll just donate this concert to her. So it was our first concert. We ended up raising $1,300, which was like only our husbands in the audience. Only our husbands, only, you know, it was just so funny. But it was crazy because then after that, people were asking us to put on concerts for families in need. You know, people going through sudden loss, you know, loss of a loved one, or AT disease, or cancer, all kinds of illnesses. And so after that, it just like hit me. That's what Calamity stood for, was dancing for people going through real life calamities. And so we had Calamity. We started that in 2007, and we were doing so many concerts, and we were dancing so much and performing so much that we needed a space. We were practicing in garages, we were practicing in other studios, just wherever, sometimes in the street, like we just needed rehearsal space. So because we were rehearsing so much and we were performing so much, we decided in 2011 that we needed our own space. And that's where the studios came into place. We kind of like came together as Calamity, and we decided like we need our own space. We need to have our own rehearsal time, you know? And so we came together, and in order to have our rehearsal space, we needed to pay for the space, right? And so we actually started teaching classes. So we opened up our first studio in St. George, Utah, in 2011, and we started teaching classes from 3 years old to adults. And that's how the Vault, our dance studios, came into place.
That is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
The St. George one is your first location. When did you get this one?
So we moved here in 2018, and so I opened this in 2019.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is pretty new.
Yeah, uh-huh.
When did you get the idea to make a TikTok about like your experience? Did you have a TikTok before you started posting?
Yeah, the crazy thing is that I was introduced to TikTok in 2020, like January 2020. So I downloaded the app in January. And I started making little videos, like every day I would just do like something fun with my kids or do a dance video or something. And then when I was diagnosed, it was kind of crazy because I was really sick leading up into my diagnosis. And so every day I literally had no motivation. I was so sick and I would just be like, okay, I want to get up and make a TikTok. So I just like forced myself to like get ready, you know, put on a cute outfit, something. And I would do a quick TikTok video. And the crazy thing is like I look back at my TikTok now and I look back at those videos before like my diagnosis and I was just so sick. I remember being so sick and fighting so hard. I didn't know what it was, you know, at the time. And like it's crazy because when I got diagnosed, I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna do this because my doctor told me, he was like, you have to do something every single day. Because I was, you know, when you're sick, and you guys probably understand, you have no motivation, don't want to do anything.
You get depressed.
Depressed, yeah, exactly. And so he was like, you have to get up every single day for 15 minutes to do something. You go for a walk or something. So I was like, okay, I'm going to continue my TikTok. So I would get up every single day for 15 minutes in the hospital, and I would do a TikTok dance. And it ended up being something where not only was it helping me physically, but I decided I was gonna like spread love and positivity through my journey. You know, show that you could do something, go through something hard, but still have joy in your life. And that was my hope for TikTok, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What were your symptoms? How long were you sick before you found out?
The crazy thing is so I was pregnant with Rose, my baby girl, and through my pregnancy I had this cough, this like lingering cough. And I had it the whole pregnancy. And then after I had Rose, I went through postpartum depression, which was really hard because I had never experienced postpartum depression before, ever. And that was really hard for me. And I still had that cough. And then I had Rose on August 28th. I started slowly getting sick in like November, December. And then I was diagnosed in April. It was just like one thing after the next. Like I had loss of appetite first, and then I had flu-like symptoms where I was like feeling very nauseous and like I wanted to throw up. And then I had cold chills, headaches, body aches, bruising, night sweats, I mean, everything.
So were you misdiagnosed before you were actually diagnosed?
Yes, I was treated for like infections at first. Like I was put on like Z-Packs because they thought, okay, maybe you just have like, you know, the seasonal flu or something. And so I was put on like Z-Packs, but never like misdiagnosed with something else until they thought maybe it was pneumonia. So we thought maybe it could have been pneumonia, and one of my doctors was like, you know what, no, we're gonna do blood tests. And so after the blood test is when we found out that it was leukemia.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do they look for in the blood to see if it's leukemia?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And you know what's so crazy is that it's just a CBC panel. So I tell everyone now, I'm like, you have to ask for a CBC, which I didn't ask for it. My awesome doctor just automatically did it on his own, you know? It's called a CBC panel, and they look for your white blood counts and your red blood counts and then your platelets as well.
So look for that if anyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Ask for a CBC panel.
Was it really hard for your kids when you were in the hospital? And like your husband and all that?
Yes, it was really hard. My husband took it really, really hard. Like the day I was diagnosed, I've never seen my husband cry like so much. Like my husband never cries. He's this big, like just big buff guy and football player dude, you know, and it was really, really hard. My kids, you know, they're so strong. My kids are so strong, and especially my boys, they're just amazing. But you can tell, especially my Maze, he's my third boy, we're pretty close. We're like best friends. And so it was really hard on him as well. And I still feel like even today, like now that I'm even home, we're still trying to figure out, you know, like where your feelings are, emotions, mentally, like there was just so much. I mean, I was gone in the hospital for most of 2020, you know, fighting this disease, and I have little kids, and all they know is like, oh my gosh, my mom has cancer. And when you think of cancer, it's like,
People just think of a death sentence.
exactly, yeah, totally. So yeah, I think we're still trying to figure it out and still trying to help my kids through it, and mentally and emotionally, you know, the whole family. Yeah.
Like when you got COVID the first time.
Yeah.
How long was that experience where you couldn't like see anybody?
Yeah, so when I got COVID the first time, because I also had like no immune system. So I was zero everything. Like the chemo had totally wiped out everything in my bone marrow. And so when I was admitted for a month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was in total isolation. Like I couldn't even leave my room at all. And then it was like every day it was like one nurse, one doctor could come in, you know, and they would come in sporadically. And because also COVID was so new still, and I was the first like cancer patient to get COVID at this time, that they had no idea like how to treat me. And so I remember the first 5 days, I literally just like laid in the bed, and they didn't give me anything because I was pre-transplant as well. And so they were just like, we don't want to mess that up. You know, I mean, you guys know transplant and all that. Like, you don't want to do anything to hinder that experience, have that done. It was really crazy. And then on day 28, I remember on day 28, my doctor came in and she's like, Tia, like, I'm taking you out of here. You gotta get out of this room. Like, she felt bad for me because mentally it was really hard, you know? Like, it was really hard being stuck in a room by myself. And so I was able to go outside and see the sunshine for a couple minutes. And then I remember a couple days later, she came and got me again, and my kids actually came to the hospital in the van. And I wasn't able to touch them, like I couldn't touch them or anything, but I was able to see them like from a distance. And that's like a moment that I'll never forget, you know? And that was so priceless to me because you never realize how important those times are and those moments that you get until you don't get to have them anymore. Yeah, it was a crazy experience and very mentally challenging. You know what I mean? But it definitely made me stronger, so grateful.
We don't know where it cut off, so
We're here for it, guys. We're here for
We
it.
were so in the zone that we had
what was the hardest part about being a mom and keeping you safe?
So the hardest part about, I feel like I'm still going through it, but the hardest part is just feeling like I can't be the mom that I want to be. Before cancer, I was always the mom at the playground, playing on the playground, running around with my kids. Like, we play a lot of street football. You know, I love to be that mom. Like, I love to be involved. And so being immune compromised and not having the strength that I had before, and you know, the stamina, and being health conscious, because I mean, there was a time in our home where everyone had to wear a mask all the time. Like, my poor kids, they had to wear a mask around me, and that's just so weird, you know what I mean? Like, especially a mom with their kids. Like, anyways, it was just, it's been difficult to be able to find the balance of like being able to be the mom that I want to be and being content of where I'm at right now. You know, it works out, but it's been challenging. Yeah.
Are your kids pretty patient with you?
Very patient. They're awesome. Like, they truly, like, they're so cute because, I mean, being immune compromised, and especially when I had like no immune system, they were always like, if there's trash on the ground or something and I'd go to pick it up, they'd be like, Mom, don't do that. Mom, don't touch that. Mom, stop. You know, like, they're so cute. And if I go to like wash the dishes, Mom, don't wash the dishes. We'll do it. Mom, we got this. Like, they're just so cute and protective, you know? My boys are just, they're awesome. They're amazing and so strong. And yeah, they're so fun. I would have to say the hardest part would be, I have two littles. You know, Rose was 7 months old when I was diagnosed. So she was just a baby. One of the hardest things was she didn't know who I was. You know, when I came home from the hospital after my first month in the hospital, she didn't want me, you know? And as a mom, that was really, really hard and challenging. And I feel like we've been blessed with an amazing nanny, Kelsey, who helps us out. And she has built a relationship with Kelsey. And even still, you know, I was gone for so much in 2020 in the hospital fighting cancer that she was with Kelsey a lot of the time. And that first year of life is like so important, you know? And so they developed an awesome, which I'm so grateful, they developed an awesome relationship. But I have to say, like, that's been a hard thing, is just being able to regain my relationship back with my baby, you know, after being gone for so long and being sick, you know, so.
How old is she now?
She's 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good age.
She is sassy, too.
What was the longest hospital stay you had?
The longest hospital stay I had was probably when I had COVID. Yeah. It was like a month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. Well, and it's kind of crazy because like I was in the hospital for a month, and then I went home for a week, and then I was back in for another week, and then I went home for like 2 weeks, and then I was back in for like a month, and then I would go home for like 2 weeks, and then I go back for another month and a half, you know, so everything just seems like it just kind of like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Who/what is your biggest motivation?
My biggest motivation is my kids, obviously, you know, I feel like, and my husband, he is one of my biggest motivators. But I think just being able to show my kids that you can do hard things. I hope out of everything, like, my kids will see my example and just know that no matter what happens in life, that you can still remain positive. Like, you can still remain a joyful person. You can still remain and choose happy, like, no matter what, you know? And I really hope they are my biggest motivators. I hope they get that out of this, you know? And I know that there's like a lot of, you know, there can be a lot of like sadness and you know, guilt and things like that, negative feelings. But I hope that they can remember this time in our life as a family and just remember, like, wow, my mom was a fighter. Like, wow, she freaking fought like crap, and she, you know, went through really hard things and came out of it stronger. So, yeah.
How do you deal with people who leave negative comments?
With love. And honestly, I feel like, you know, it doesn't hurt me in a way. I think we're all human, so it might sting a little bit. But for me, it's a learning experience. And that's why, like, I try to share my experiences, like, every side of me on social media, because I want people to learn with me, if that makes sense. Like, I want people to not just only know that, wow, Tia has those things happen to her too, but also go, wow, I could be a little kinder. You know what I mean? Like, wow, okay, I didn't realize, like, wow, she's going through this. And, you know, everybody, like, right now I'm on steroids, and I may look different than I did before, and I get comments about that. But, you know, we never know what other people are going through. And I think sometimes we just don't think about it so much, you know? And we don't think about what other people are going through, and we say things, you know, out of, like, just randomly. I love being able to show that side, because I love being able to bring kindness to a head, that we can all remember to be a little kinder and nicer. But for me, I always respond with an I love you, you know, if I respond, because I really do. I love, like, I have this, it's probably like this best thing about me, but also like maybe the worst, because you get hurt really easily, you know? But I truly love everybody. Like, I love people. And I feel like even those people need love too. And it's important for us to respond with kindness, and then also take a moment to be like, you know what, we need to stand up for what's right, you know, and stand up for what's right in a nice, positive way, not so much in a negative, fighting back way.
Yeah.
You know.
Tell us about the bone marrow transplant process.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know I was gonna get a bone marrow transplant. So first I was just gonna have 6 rounds of aggressive chemo. And then after the second round of chemo, it totally killed my bone marrow. Like, everything wiped out. Killed all the bad plus all the good, and then it was like affecting my body really bad. There was a point in my journey where I was admitted back into the hospital for a month and a half because I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't Can you imagine I couldn't talk? You guys are like, oh my gosh, shut up. But yeah, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk because of the chemo just totally wiped me out. So then after that, they decided, they were like, okay, we have to do a transplant. So I got tested and we found out that my leukemia was not hereditary, which was a huge blessing because then it meant that my siblings could be my donor if they were a match, you know? So I have 6 siblings. I'm the baby of 7. They all got tested. All of them got tested to see if they were going to be my match. And one of them was 100% my match. Yeah. 1 out of the 6. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And it's like 25% chance that your sibling can be a donor as well. So it was truly a miracle, like a miracle. And so my brother Clay, he ended up going through the whole process, and he had to get tests done and just make sure his blood was good and make sure his health was good enough to be able to go through with it. And then I had to remain healthy. Like I was just getting sick with everything and in the hospital left and right before transplant because they were trying to keep me healthy before transplant. And so he had to take granite shots like the week leading up to his, I want to say retrieval, but it's not an egg retrieval, leading up to when they took his stem cells out. He had to get the shots done, and then he was in the hospital for that week. He would just go in as an outpatient. They did it basically like an IV. They just, you know, both sides. And then about a week later, I received my transplant. It was December 2nd. And I was admitted into the hospital probably, I think it was like November 28th. It was kind of cool the way that they did my treatment for transplant, because I did like little rounds of chemo every day. And then I did radiation on the last day with my last round of chemo. And then they gave me my transplant. So they basically go in and they kill everything. Like they wipe out your whole bone marrow, all your blood, like everything, and then they replace it. And yeah, I was in the hospital. It was honestly the hardest thing. Like out of everything I've done, transplant was the hardest. You can see it in one of my YouTube videos, on my transplant video. I'm literally like up and dancing in the bed, and she's getting ready to give me my stem cells, and then all of a sudden when you see the stem cells like hit my body, I'm like, boom. Like it just like, and I couldn't breathe. They had to give me Benadryl and things to help me to be able to like calm me down because it was really, really tough. And then after that was like, yeah, it was just one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Do they pre-medicate before?
No, they don't pre-medicate before. I do have to be pre-medicated like before I get like transfusions and stuff. But they don't pre-medicate before a transplant until, well, at least for me, they didn't, until they know what's like happening. So yeah.
All the treatments are like way rough on your body. Any kind of treatment is like
I know.
so rough.
And that's the thing, I feel like, you know, you don't realize it, you know, until you have to go through it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is hard.
So do you take any anti-rejection meds for your bone marrow transplant? What are they, and like what effects do they have?
After my transplant, I got graft versus host disease, which is what happens after transplant, and it basically stiffens up like your joints and your body and thickens your skin, makes your skin, so I have like thick patches of skin all over my body and my face, and so I'm on steroids for that, high dose steroids. And steroids, I mean, I think everybody kind of knows what they do. They cause a moon-shaped face. They cause a lot of weight gain. They cause you to not sleep. Like they're really weird that way. And then they also cause like irritability. So it's just really like a lot of mood swings with steroids and a lot of like up and downs of emotions. Have you guys ever experienced steroids before?
She's on them, prednisone right now.
Oh, you are? Me too, sister. Wow. What are you on?
5 milligrams.
I'm on 15 and a half.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Makes me really hungry though.
Yeah, I know, me too. I was on 90.
Oh my.
Yes. yes, I know, it is a lot. So, yeah, and then I'm also on Cresemba, another medicine that helps with the non-rejection that causes a lot of mood swings. It's kind of crazy because I feel like myself, but then I don't. At times, you know? And then I'm also on an oral chemotherapy right now. So I take oral chemo every single day to help fight rejection and all of that. So, plus I'm on like 20 other medications that I'm sure you don't want me to go through.
Were you on Tacro?
Yes. Yeah.
I noticed on your Instagram story.
Yes.
Like, I take that.
Are you still on it?
Yeah.
You are?
I've been on it since I was like 5.
5? Yes. So they took me off of Tacro because of my GVHD. So I was on it for a while, and then they took me off because I was on so many other immune suppressants as well that they were like, okay, you're on oral chemo, you're on prednisone, you're on Cresemba, you're on like all these things that they're like, okay, we're just gonna try to get you off the Tacro. So
Yeah, that one attacks your kidneys too.
yes.
I've heard of other like transplant people have to get kidney failure because of it.
I know, yes. So my kidneys right now are elevated. So that is something that they're kind of watching because of my transplant. And then I have a liver MRI next week.
So you have to watch all your blood.
All my, yes, all my organs.
What is the biggest thing you've learned throughout your experience?
The biggest thing I've learned throughout my experience is that today is a gift. Seriously, like this moment, and it sounds so simple and you're like, okay, that's dumb, maybe. But it really is. I think sometimes we forget that, you know, life isn't that bad, you know, and there's so much goodness to be seen in life. And no matter what we're going through, I know you guys, I don't know if you guys know, I lost my mom as well, right at the beginning of my cancer journey. Suddenly, she wasn't sick or nothing. She just, yeah, it was really, really hard. And I feel like I still go through waves of grief. For instance, this morning, I really struggled, but there's still so much joy in my day. Like you guys, like this is joyful. You know what I mean? Like having a bad moment doesn't mean that you have a bad life.
Yeah.
And I really feel like have this journey and my experience, and I call it an opportunity. I feel like, you know, they're not trials, they're opportunities for us to learn, for us to grow, for us to find our strengths, for us to become the people that we're supposed to become. And the only way that we can become who we're meant to be is to go through these opportunities.
Yeah,
So, yeah, totally, right? And I feel like, and it makes those harder moments less hard, if that makes sense, you know? If we just change the way we look at it and remember that these moments are, like this moment that we get right now with each other is all that matters right now. Because we're not promised the next hour. We're not promised anything can happen to any one of us when we go out the store, you know?
Yeah.
And so the moments that we have in our now are the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
So true, right?
Yeah.
So your second COVID experience,
Yeah.
was that Omicron or was that like
We don't know.
you don't know?
No.
So
Was it worse?
you had
It was worse.
Oh,
You said that, right? So you just
Yeah.
said, yeah, like it was worse.
So I saw, was it last week you got like an MRI?
Uh-huh.
Your stutter?
Yes. Yeah. So,
What?
yeah. So, I got COVID in December and I was admitted back into the hospital for 11 days. And I was really, really sick, like really, really sick. And my doctors even said, they ended up giving me, I was on IVIG, I was on remdesivir, I was on the antibodies. They gave me the antibodies as well. And I was on oxygen. I'm still on oxygen. So I have to have oxygen when I dance, work out, and sleep. So, and then throughout the day, if my oxygen levels are dropping, then I have to wear it. But it's mandatory when I'm dancing, which is really hard because being strapped to a machine, you know. I'm sure you've seen in my videos, I don't know, I look like a fool, but I don't care. But yeah, it was really, this time of COVID's been really hard. And so I developed a stutter. I came home and it was probably like a week later, I started like stuttering really bad, and it's gotten better. But I still have like these spasms. It's like a weird spasm that happens, and it happens like it almost like a misfire, my brain to my nerves. And so what they think is happened, because I had a brain MRI last week and it showed clear. So what they think has happened, it's a result of COVID, because COVID attacks your nervous system. And so because I still am fighting the COVID off, they feel like it is what it is. So hopefully, I feel like it's gotten better. I'm not stuttering as what I was before. I'm still having the spasms when I speak, but I feel like whatever, if it's long term, it's another opportunity. Right?
Yeah. Do you have any messages for people watching?
I've had a lot of messages, you guys, but I think just whatever hard thing you're going through, whatever it is in your life that you are battling, we all have our hards. We're all going through something. Try to find something that you're grateful for every single day. I truly believe when we find gratitude in life, and when we look for the things that we're grateful for, life becomes beautiful. And that no matter what you're going through, you can be going through the hardest battle and fighting cancer or whatever it may be. You can still find joy in your day and in your life if you look for things that you're grateful for. So, everyone out there on the YouTube channel, I'm going to challenge you to find 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. And I promise it will change your life. And when you find those things that you're grateful for, life becomes more beautiful. And you can put more beauty into the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that is an awesome message.
Thank you.
So do you want to shout out all your social medias?
So you guys, you can find me at the Tia Bee Stokes on Instagram. Also on TikTok, come dance with me at the Tia Bee Stokes. And on YouTube, Tia Bee Stokes on YouTube. So I love you guys. Come hang with me. Come hot chat with me. Dance with me. And yeah, life is awesome. Thanks, you guys.
It's been awesome having you.
Oh, thank you.
You have such good stories. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Seriously.
Yeah.
And it's been a pleasure meeting you guys.
yeah, you too.
Seriously, a lot. I feel like I need to interview you guys.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Go check out Tia on all the social medias.
We'll link them down below. Subscribe and like this video. Comment down below as well. So yeah, bye.
Love you.